Hello everyone, this is Wake Angel 2001, and this is 3 Men and My Baby! Okay, remember how last week's episode was kind of the 80s cliche about the, about the sports movies and crap like that? Well, this is kind of the same thing. Like, in the 80s and 90s, there was also another trope, like, besides a whole bunch of underdog sports team things, you also had, like, people being put in charge of protecting a baby that are completely ill-suited to it. I mean, this reminds me kind of an episode of Full House, which I watched when I was a kid, but, yeah, I'm pretty sure this plot has been used in a bunch of movies, so it seems that for the past couple weeks, Sonic Boom has just been on a whole recycling tropes from old comedies kind of thing. Alright, so this episode actually begins with a really impressive driving sequence where Knuckles is driving around in a monster truck while Sonic and Tails are following behind on their little hoverboard things. It's a pretty cool sequence, and Knuckles says that there ain't no endangerment like reckless endangerment, which is just kind of amusing. And he decides to make himself a slice of pizza in the oven in his dashboard. But the pizza's hot, so he can't hold it, so he's not in the steering wheel. And then he drops on the lap, causing him to completely mess up his steering. He ends up going into the village and crashing into a tree. He almost runs over Mama Walrus, but manages at the last second to turn the wheel. That's why he hits a tree. So everyone's like, whew, that was really close. Good thing no one was hurt. And that's when the tree falls over and lands on Mama Walrus. Well, if anyone ever wondered if Sonic Boom delivered on fan service, I kid. We don't want to see Mama Walrus get hurt. She's annoying, but she's not bad. Okay. So the doctor says that Mama Walrus isn't badly injured, but she's going to need a few days of bed rest. Her older son can take care of her, but then she needs someone to watch after her baby. So Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, who feel responsible for her injuries, and in lieu of having to deal with a personal injury lawsuit, decide to spend her recovery time watching her baby for her. Yeah, I'm surprised that no one comes up with a personal injury lawsuit subplot for this episode. I bet if we had that wolf guy in here, he totally would have gotten her to sue them. But this isn't about the litigious injured people. This is about three teenagers looking after a baby. Actually, Sonic and Knuckles are, assuming that they're the same age as the proper universe counterparts, Knuckles is only 16, Sonic is 15, although he probably just turned 16 because, he had a birthday in Sonic Generations, and Tails is 8. So, we're looking at 3 guys who are pretty young to be babysitters. So, of course, we do the thing where they say, this isn't going to be hard, and then you do a jump cut over to them being completely in over their heads. So the baby's crying, and they figure that he's hungry, so they want to give him a chili dog. But Tails points out, quite accurately, that the baby's too young for solid food, so they say, alright, well, put it in the blender. He said, if you say so. And he's like, I meant the chili dog, not the baby! Yeah, duh! Oh my god, please do not leave the baby in Knuckles' care. So they actually blend up the chili dog, which I think is perhaps the most disgusting thing you possibly could have done, but the baby actually likes it. And then he poops himself, because they fed an infant pureed chili. So they try to take him to Amy to see if she'll change the diaper, to which she says, not my monkey, not my circus. And she slams the door in their face. And then we get another gratuitous reuse of the spacesuits, so that they can put the spacesuits on to change his diaper. Man, they really should market, like, diaper-changing spacesuits for when your baby has a really smelly chili poops. So they successfully changed the diaper, and the baby poops himself again right away. And they had to do a whole bunch of babysitting stuff. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, they have to get the baby to go to sleep, and they just can't get him to go down. He keeps on screaming and crying, and they actually put on their Dreamboat Express shirts and sing a Dooditude song, a Rocket by Baby cover by Dooditude. Like, wow, they are spoiling us this week. We got the spacesuits and the Dreamboat Express shirts, which they wore the costumes for when they were Dreamboat Express, but they call themselves Dooditude now. The Dooditude still wear the same costume? Do you call them Dooditude or Dreamboat Express? I don't know. Anyway, I'm wondering if we're going to get them in their Dooditude costumes as action figures, because if we got the spacesuits, why not the Dooditude shirts? It would certainly be a more interesting variant than the bruised and battered Knuckles, right? My chair is so moving around. I'm just rolling all over the place. So they finally... so Tails figures out that he can just reuse a whole bunch of 3D art assets from the show and make a makeshift mobile. I see what you did there, animators, but you know what? It's cool. I would totally love a Babymobile like this for my kids. And they get the baby to sleep. Finally. And that's when Eggman attacks! Waking the baby up! So Sonic almost swears in front of the baby. Like, you ever been around really young kids and you're about to talk the way you normally talk as a grown-up, but then you realize there's children present, so you censor yourself right away? Like, I'm gonna go get that nice man. So they start smashing up some robots, and Sonic lands on the rim of the Eggmobile and says, "We spent hours getting the baby down, and then you won't come up." And like, oh, I'm so sorry. Is my boring action sequence interfering with your epic babysitting adventure? So there's a little bit more fighting, and the baby ends up getting launched into the air and lands in Eggman's hands, and then he starts pushing a bunch of random buttons on the dashboard, which causes all the robots to shut down, and they when they hit the ground, they blow up. So with the Eggmobile on the ground, it's like, hey, I was winning this one. Knuckles kicks him over the horizon. He goes flying over the horizon, but he doesn't go. Bing. Usually, when a guy makes the exit from the episode, he goes. Bing. I was expecting him to come back for a later scene, but apparently you don't need to ping in order to be gone for the episode. So what happened after this? So what follows is actually a montage of them getting along quite well with the baby. They see them walking around, and Percy, Stacy, and Zoe see them with the baby, and aww. like apparently nothing's a bigger turn on for those three than good father figure material. So they buy him a little giraffe plushie, which looks a lot like the Jeffrey toys you can get at Toys R Us, if I'm being all honest here, and everything goes well. And they go to bed, and they put the baby in the crib, and then they all fall asleep. And when they wake up in the morning, Knuckles looks in the crib like, "Hey, you know that baby we were looking after? Where is he?" The baby's gone. Alright, later on, Knuckles starts playing the blame game, but Sonic, why don't you have a door on your shack? I mean, it's the most basic thing. Like, what are you doing? It's cold out. You need a door, Sonic. I mean, I know, technically speaking, in every other universe you've ever been in, aside from the Saturday morning cartoon, and by the extension the comic book it was based on, you've basically been homeless. But I would expect, if you have a shack, to at least have a damn door. I mean, when Knuckles got himself that lamp, and he bought himself what basically amounted to an outhouse to put it in, he still had a door. It was a pretty crappy door, but it was a door. Anyway, the baby's gone, and we have another montage sequence of where they go to all the most dangerous places in that they can think of, like the volcano, that big mushroom-shaped mountain. Places that are dangerous because this baby has a tendency to get into danger all the time. They go to the most dangerous place, which is Medburger, and Dave the intern says that he hasn't seen any babies around. So like, that's relief. But wait, we may be relieved that he's not eating D-grade beef. I wouldn't call it beef per se, but we don't know where he is. So they feel that they have to come clean, and they go to Mama Walrus to tell her that the baby's lost. They said, the thing is, your baby, he's right there. He managed to crawl into Mama Walrus's rafters, and he fell down, and they catch him, and they give him back to her, and she's really impressed by how responsible they are. Like, okay, they had a pretty good streak going up until the baby crawled away. So the episode ends with Amy Rose. A thing about the animation, Amy Rose's spines, they show hair-like flexibility because she has her head cocked to the side, and you see the spines on the lower half of her face kind of hang away, like their hair. I'm kind of used to Amy's head being one big solid object that kind of moves around as one thing, but in this episode they actually allowed physics to apply to the way her spines go. Kind of like that. I don't think I've ever noticed them do that before, which it's kind of cool. I don't know, just a random thing about the animation that I noticed. And she asked if they learned the lesson, and they said yes, they have. It's unsafe to cook pizza while you're in your car, so they've added a gear to the oven to make sure that it won't turn on unless the car is in park, so that Knuckles can't cook pizzas while he's driving anymore. So they climb into the car. Knuckles says to the camera, "Remember, kids, don't cook and drive." Oh, and by the way, he actually used the term swole in this episode. He was telling the baby to start with free weights and then work his way up to bench pressing and take breaks between reps, and you get and he'll be swole by the end of the summer. That's kind of funny. They actually used, I didn't even know what the term swole was until last year. And ironically, I learned about what the word swole was when someone was describing Knuckles. It's funny how things work out in this world. And so they drive away and do the same reckless crap that they were doing at the beginning of the episode, and Amy looks all pissed off at them because they learned the wrong lesson. But whatever. I gotta say, I like this episode better than last week's episode. I mean, last week's episode is okay if you like all those 80s sports cliches, but I was never really a big fan of 80s sports movie cliches. I guess if you were a fan of the Mighty Ducks or that football one, I forget, or the Bad News Bears, or I'm just naming stuff. I don't think I actually remember most of those movies. I just know the cliches from them. But yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of thing, then last week's episode was your bag. But this week's episode, it had a lot great. It had more justification for these toys to exist. It had Mama Walrus being more than a "my baby" thing. We actually get to see them trying to take care of this accident-prone baby. And like I said, it made me think of Full House. So there's some nostalgic crap from my childhood right there. So yeah, I would give this episode a good score. I think it was pretty decent. And yes, we even got an Eggman cameo with a fight scene, so it wasn't all about the babysitting. Plus, I love the way that Amy just would not put up with their crap this episode. Nope, not my problem, not my problem. And she didn't go off on some big feminist thing oh, you think that just because I'm a girl, I'm automatically know how to take care of babies, huh? Nope, she didn't even bring it up. She's just nope, this is your idiot's problem. You deal with it. Wash my hands. I like that. Alright, so hopefully next week's episode will be even better than this one. And we'll live up to even higher standards. So, this is Wake Game 2001 signing off for the week.